So the reporters asked Joe Burrow, how does he feel going into this game versus the Bills? Obviously, they're speaking about the Darmar Hamlin situation. Last time the Bengals and the Bills played in Houday Nation in the jungle, Darmar Hamlin situation happened week 17 of last year. And I've been very vocal and, honest with my opinion on this subject. I think that it happened. It was a tragic event, but we do have to move on from it. Now, with that event happening, I think we still should honor and support and show off, and I think they're going to in this game. The medical staff of the Cincinnati Bengals, who was able to be there and actually take care of Damar Hamlin and save his life. And they're going to have a little intro thing and a little celebration of them before in the pregame. And I'm fine with that. I think that's an amazing idea. I just think we have to remember that, those are the guys that really did amazing work. While Damar Hamlin, what happened to him was tragic. We got to let that part, I feel like, go by and kind of get past that part. But for those who did what they did there and continue to do amazing things every single day, those are the situations where I will say we, don't forget that, obviously. So they're going to do a little celebration for Damar Hamlin and for the medical staff before the game starts. So with all that being said, let's see what Joe Burrow had to say about it. So he said, first off, he thinks that the environment in the stadium will be rocking. And it will be. You have two teams who are right now in the best shape possible. I mean, obviously, the Bills haven't looked too great this season. Neither have the Bengals, right? But the Bills are coming off a win versus the Buccaneers. They look like they're getting going again. They just got Rasul Douglas, a new cornerback, after losing Tre'Davious White and Matt Milano. So now they're kind of getting stuff back on defense. Von Miller is back, so they're figuring out the pieces. They're putting all the pieces together. The Bengals, offensive player of the week last week was Joe Burrow. 19 completions in a row. We went under center and in shotgun. Repeatedly was able to move the ball. Well, not 1,000% with ease, but almost as if it was with ease. So, is it a big game? But, of course, this article in the reporters, they will be talking about is, how is this whole Damar Hamlin situation going to affect you during the game? Here's what he said. I expect it to be rocking. It's going to be an exciting game, and I know the fans are going to come out and do what they do. Obviously, what happened is in the past. I think everyone remembers it. But I'm not going to dwell on it, and I know he's not dwelling on it either. So I know our fans are going to come and support and be loud and be proud. We're going to fight our tails off. And I think that's the best way to put the whole situation to bed. Is that, obviously, yes, everyone knows what happened, okay? Everyone knows the tragedy. I was live streaming that game. So trust me, I understand that 1,000% completely. And thankfully, he is alive. Thankfully, we did not lose a player that night. If we did, then this circumstance would be completely different, okay? But at the end of the day, right now he's actually not going to be playing week 4, I believe, because he has an illness. But he is alive. He is, still on the team. He is still playing. And that is a positive in that way. But again, as he said here, we can't dwell on it. Listen, our mentality going into this game versus the Bills, we care that Damar Hamlin situation happened, but that's not on our mind. Our mind right now is about the AFC North, about the AFC Conference. Our mind right now is set with the fact that the Chiefs just lost the game to the Broncos, and this team right here, this game, is going to decide in the end, potentially, how the conference breaks out. So while, yes, there will be some fans and reporters that bring up the Damar Hamlin situation, it is far from that. As Joe said, is in the past. That is the past right now, right? We got to move on. We got to focus on what is important, and important is this game upcoming. He did go out and continue saying, we're going to have to beat teams like this if you want to go where we want to go. Burrow noted it's a great team with a great quarterback and really good defensive team. Now, obviously, we played in the playoffs last year. We have a chance to play them again, so it's going to be fun. And I think that's the best way, again, as always, when Joe does speak. Joe is very, he speaks with purpose, right? He doesn't say things just to say things. He says things, he's very soft-spoken, as they would say. So, when you listen to Joe speak, you know Joe is speaking from the heart, and you know Joe means what he says. And I think that's the best way to really put it going into this game. Now, of course, the Bills have a lot of injuries going into this game. We have some injuries ourselves. So it's going to be a little bit of an interesting game in that aspect. It's also a primetime game, so you already know primetime football, nighttime football is always different than regular football, I feel like. Because regular football, you know, things happen, everything goes this way. But once the lights come on, man, some players play amazing, some players play awful. And we're going to kind of figure that out in this game. Now, we did have one primetime game already, the Rams game, and we played pretty dang good. We won the game. So, I think our boys will be fine for the primetime appearance, but I'm not saying 1,000% their guys are going to be fine. I don't know, though. You know, at the end of the day, they have a lot of injuries. A lot of guys on their squad's going to have to step up in that situation. And again, they're not going to have their backup strong safety, Darmar Hamlim, for this game. They're not going to have their cornerback, Tre'Davious White. He's out with Achilles tear. They're not going to have Matt Milano, their middle linebacker, who's pretty much a solid of their defense. They're not going to have a lot of those guys that they're going to, you know, really need to shut down us in this game. Now, they do have Rasul Douglas. As I said before, the Packers traded him to the Bills right a couple days ago, right before the trade deadline ended. So they have him, right? And that's going to definitely help out their defense to really step up and see what they can do in this upcoming game. But the other guy they have, Matt Elam's brother, Kiar Elam, I forget how to say his first name. He might not play. He did not participate in practice on Wednesday. If he does play, that's going to be shaky to see how 100% he is. If he's going to be a limited snap count or not. And you have, you know, this Bengals offense that really is coming off of, again, one of the best games against the best defense in football. And this receiving core, they were eating in that game. I mean, you have Jamar Chase at 8. Yoshi caught a touchdown. T. Higgins was eating. You know, Trenton Irwin was eating that game. Tyler Boyd. I mean, you go down the list. Even Irv Smith was catching some passes. And now, really, honestly, and I hate to say this, but it's kind of a fact at this point, that it's actually more news to talk about, / more information I would really talk about here, that Tanner Hudson is on the active roster for this upcoming week. So that means that he's going to be getting more snaps and more play time. I would talk about that more than I would talk about the Damar Hamlin situation. Because, again, like I said, Damar Hamlin situation, awful. We moved on from that. But when it comes to Tanner Hudson, like, if I was a reporter, that's what I'd be asking Joe about. So how do you think you're going to utilize Tanner Hudson in this offense? You know, what is Tanner Hudson? Like, that's what should be on your brain. And that's probably what's on our brain a little bit. Is that, you know what, we want to get the tight end position more utilized. Obviously, when Irv Smith went down with injury, right, we started utilizing Tanner Hudson more. And those 2 games, he looked okay, but he didn't get as many, you know, attempts, got open as much. So now, is he going to do that against the Bills, right? You got the Bills who, their starting linebackers out with injury for the year. Then their backup linebacker is actually, again, he also has a hamstring injury, and he did not participate in practice. So that means that they're going to have to figure out a way. They have no Damar Hamlin to put on the, like, a lot of times teams will put safeties on the tight end. They have no Damar Hamlin to do that. So they're going to have to figure out a way to get someone on, you know, Tanner Hudson. Tanner Hudson is a vertical threat tight end. You know, while he's not the best in the world, he definitely has the potential to be really good. He's 28 years old. I think 28, 29 years old. So he has the age, you know, the veteran experience. There's all things like that I would be more focused on than, you know, obviously the Damar Hamlin situation. But I will say overall wise, this is going to be a testament game for us. And I've said this many times, and I try my best not to repeat myself many times in videos, but I know a lot of people don't watch, I know some people don't watch every single video I do. So I do tend to repeat myself in certain categories because I want to go ahead and make sure I stress it enough. But this is a statement game, as I always say. There's 5 statement games this year. There's this game, there's the 49ers game, we already won it, the Ravens game, the Chiefs game, and the Browns game. You got to win all those 5 games. And I found myself actually go back and forth on one game because I say 5 games, but every time I say those 5 games, sometimes I say the Jags and sometimes I say the Browns. It really depends, man. Like, the Jags game could be a statement game or Cleveland game. This is why I go back and forth, okay? Because the Jags game, if we keep winning, okay, if we win this game and then we win against the Ravens, right? And then we're playing the Jags. That Jags game is a statement game, right? That Jags game is the statement game. I think we also play the Steelers in between that. We beat the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bills. Right there, what are we? 3 wins in the future. We're currently 4-3. That's 7-3. We're 7-3. That Jags game becomes the statement game, right? Now, if we lose one of these two or 2 of these games or whatever, then then it's not really that much of a statement game, you would say, right? Because you'd be like, well, it is a statement game, but it doesn't matter as much as it would if we were on that winning streak, right? We're on that winning streak, and now it's like, ooh, you could go for the conference, guys. You could go 14-3. So if we are in a situation where we could go 14-3, let's say we're 13-3 going into week 18, we're going to rest our starters if we have the conference locked up. So that's why I'm saying it's kind of like it can be a statement game or it might not be a statement game. It depends on how that week 18 goes, because if things don't go the way we want it to and it goes like this, that week 18 game might mean more to us than we think, right? So those are kind of the breakdowns I want to talk about in this video. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.